All right, I'm going to move things around a little bit here because the AMA has asked the federal government to reconsider a decision that's excluding medical students from an expanded Commonwealth prac payments. Kyle Hoath is the WA president of the AMA. G'day, Kyle.
G'day, how are you?
Good. Hey, talk me through the changes that we've seen and why has there been an exclusion for medical students?
Yeah, look, it's really difficult to understand why there has been exclusion of medical students. I think today, the Prime Minister talking about that there isn't a shortage of doctors, which is very contrary to their long-held stance around the things we need to do differently because we don't have enough doctors. And occasionally we hear this sentiment that, doctors don't need that sort of support, which is mind-blowing when I think about the diversity of backgrounds that medical students come from, be it country, be it Indigenous, be it low SES places, and they're expected to do 3 years of full-time work without any pay. I mean, it's really just, I'm kind of flabbergasted that they have excluded medical students from this. It doesn't strike me as the most sensible thing to do.
So what, 3 years of full-time work? So what, they've got to rack up over 38 hours a week for 3 years unpaid?
It's at least 38 hours a week, and yeah, it's completely unpaid. And most medical students, I'd say most medical students, all medical students struggle to hold down any kind of a job during that period of time. It's pretty intensive. They're doing their studies on top of that full-time prac placement. It's pretty hectic compared to a lot of the others that are now going to get support.
Do you lose a few from the industry due to that load, do you reckon?
Yeah, we do. And we're seeing that more and more, particularly now that, a lot of people coming into medicine a bit older instead of straight out of school, and they need to financially support themselves and their families, and they can't do that. They can't afford to live without any pay for 3 years. So yeah, look, we're just asking for what's fair, in our opinion. I mean, I think it's a great initiative, and I think it's a fantastic way of getting people more experience in practical placements, and love seeing it happen in other professions. Just can't understand why the government insists on continuing to exclude doctors from this.
Is it all around affordability? Can the federal government simply not afford that additional cost, a budget line that is already a fair whack?
Oh, look, I would find that very hard to believe. I imagine it's about optics from them. It's about that perception of doctors earning enough, and so we don't need to worry about them. But we're talking about medical students here. We're talking about trying to enable anybody who wants to the ability to study medicine instead of making it more exclusive by making it impossible to access financially. I mean, it's in many ways it reduces the diversity of people coming into medicine, and I think that's a terrible thing for our country.
It's a good point on the diversity. You're right, because it does close the door on people who might not have contributions from family or come from wealthy backgrounds and things like that. What's been included? So we've seen some changes. I think it's from 1 July 2027. But what has been thrown in to get that prac payment from the Commonwealth?
Yeah, so they've expanded from initially, teachers and nurses being the big one that they announced last year, and they've included sort of paramedics, psychology, a lot of other allied health like physiotherapy, OT, social work. So real quite an expansion of the project. And again, I think that is phenomenal, and I back the initiative. I just a little flabbergasted today to see medical students and veterinary students as perhaps the other cohort just deliberately sidelined in the Prime Minister's comments. Like, it's just, I can't understand it, honestly.
What would it cost, do you reckon, to have medical students included in that list?
Now, ultimately, we're talking about a smaller cohort of students overall versus some of the larger things like teaching. I mean, teaching, not even near the scale of amount of teachers when it comes to doctors. So it's less numbers, but yeah, it is a longer period of time. But I can't imagine it would cost them any more than it does for teachers, as an example. I imagine it would be less. So I can't imagine this is dollars and cents. Happy to go crunch the numbers and come back to you.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to all regroup and decide how we prosecute this with government, because again, support the program, but just can't understand this almost deliberate isolation of medical students and veterinary students from the program. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Do you feel blindsided? Was there hope that medical students would be included?
Yeah. Well, look, we knew that we weren't going to be, but we've been campaigning pretty hard, and we thought we'd had some pretty productive conversations and helped dispel this narrative that all medical students come from wealthy families. I mean, we don't even want all medical students to come from wealthy families. To your earlier point, we want that diversity in the profession. And so, you know, this disadvantages people from the country. It disadvantages so many other, demographics of our country that, you know, put in a position where it might be just financially impossible to study medicine. So, yeah, we will definitely be going back and working hard on finding a way to help them see some common sense here.
Okay, really good to speak to you today, Kyle. Thank you.
My pleasure. Take care.
Kyle Hoath, the WA President of the AMA.